Hey, what's going on YouTube? This is Technology Mafia, and today I am doing a comparison between two lenses that doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but some of you asked for it in the comments section of the last couple of videos that I've made, and so I figured, well, let's give it a shot. These are two very different lenses. Let's take a closer look at what they look like side by side. Here are the two lenses next to each other, and as you can tell immediately, there is a size difference between the two of them. The 35mm is substantially smaller and lighter than the 18 to 105mm lens. However, you cannot knock the build quality on the 18 to 105. The more I have a chance to use this lens, the more I realize how well built it truly is. Here is the 35mm f1.8 on the Sony a6000. As you can see, it's very compact. It's lightweight, easy to carry around, not front heavy at all. And here is the 18 to 105 lens on the a6000. It is a lot heavier and therefore more difficult to take with you if you are traveling. And now let's go ahead and look at some sample images from both of these lenses. So this is the first image that I'm going to start with, and this is a portrait of my wife. This is shot on the 35mm at 1/500th of a second at f1.8. ISO is at 100. And I wanted to see how much more light the f1.8 35 let in comparison to the 18 to 105 lens. Here's the same exact image with the exact same settings on the 18 to 105, except you're at f4. So as you can see, it is a bit darker if we compare them side by side. Let me switch these over. So on the left you have the 35mm and on the right you have the zoom lens, and you could see there is a big difference. If you zoom in, you can see how much brighter the face is. However, the zoom lens at f4 should have more detail, and it does. If you shoot the 35mm at f4, what happens? So both of these lenses are shooting the exact same settings, and let's compare these two. So I'm going to zoom in. There is a bit more sharpness in the center where the eyes are on the 35. However, the 18 to 105 does do a very good job. It's very close. And I'm not going to compare corner sharpness in this image because it's a portrait, but we will take a look at that in other images. Next set of images here, the 35mm lens on the left and the 18 to 105 on the right. Both of these are shot with the exact same settings as you could see at the top. And let's take a look at sharpness here. So I'm going to try center sharpness first. Let's see if we can get that. Hold on a moment. Computer's loading there. So in the center, both lenses look pretty sharp to me. I don't see any major differences. The tree branches look a little more defined on the 35mm lens, and you could see a bit more sharpness in the reflection. It's definitely not as sharp on the 18 to 105 lens. Let's take a look at the corners. Alright, so we take the very corner, and you can definitely see a difference here. Snow on the branches are more defined, however, there is more chromatic aberration with the 35. You can see there's a little bit of color fringing right here, but it is a sharper image. This time I shot both images at f5, ISO 100, 1/320 is the shutter speed, and let's take a look at sharpness here. I have to give the advantage to the 35mm lens here. The car is in focus, the garage door is definitely sharper here, and you could take a look at the brick. You could see the brick is significantly sharper in the corner here. In the center, you have better color with the 35mm. There's a bit of flaring on the 18 to 105 that's kind of unusual. And these shots were taken within 20 seconds of each other. So the very top, let's see, if we go over to top corner, some branches here. You can definitely see the sharpness of the 35 in comparison to the 18 to 105. I mean, the 18 to 105 is not a dull lens, it's a sharp lens, but that 35 is something else. This is another portrait, this time 1/30th of a second at f4, ISO 100, 35 on the left, 18:105 on the right. And you could see that it's very hard to tell. If I were to show you this image and then switch over to this one, I mean, looking at them side by side, it's very difficult to tell which is which. Let's take a look at focus. So center focus, the 35mm is very sharp. However, the 18:105 is very sharp on the subject as well. Bokeh is about the same. There's a little bit more sunshine on the 18:105 image. In fact, I mean, when you consider the lighting, the 18:105 image is a bit more pleasing to the eye. Okay, here's another side profile portrait, 35 on the left, 18:105 on the right. Both of these images shot at f4 and at 35mm, obviously. And bokeh is about the same. In this one, the 18:105 bokeh looks a little bit better in my opinion. I'm a bit surprised by that. A bit better bokeh here on the right. If we focus on the subject, the eyes, the 35 nails the focus, very sharp on the eyes. You can see the detail in the hairs. The 18:105, also very close. I mean, the focus isn't as sharp, however, there's still a substantial amount of detail there. You can see the hairs there. Go over to the subject's hair. That's when things kind of start to fall apart a little bit with the 18:105. With these, I shot wide open with aperture priority. This is the image from the 35mm lens. You could see it's nice and creamy in the background. The image out of the 18:105 at f4. The camera compensates by using a slower shutter speed if you keep the ISO settings the same, and you still get a nice background blur effect. Side by side, it's up to you as to which type of bokeh you prefer. Now, if you really wanted to push it, what I did is I stepped back and I used the telephoto side of the 18:105, and I zoomed in here at 99mm. And although the background looks a little bit different, you could see that the bokeh in the background here, I mean, it's beautiful if you're using more of the telephoto side. And you still have the subject in focus. Focus is sharp on both of these, so again, very difficult to see much of a difference between the two images. So you could still use the 18:105 effectively as a portrait lens. All you have to do is zoom in a little bit more. The 35 on the left and the 18:105 on the right. Same settings, 1/100th f8 and ISO 100. And let's take a look at sharpness at f8. So I'm going to zoom in. So with brick, it's very easy to see which lens is sharper in the corners here on the side. So the 35 is nice and sharp. 18:105, while it is not bad, it's not quite as sharp as the 35mm. Let's take a look at the road. Same story here in the corner. 35 is nice and sharp. The 18:105 is a bit soft, but it's not terrible. Edge of the house, so you can definitely see more of the sharp corner sharpness here in comparison to a bit of a softer image. On the left, you have a nice and sharp image of the grass and the snow. On the right, the 18:105 is a bit fuzzy. Now again, these images are huge files, so unless you're pixel peeping like that, you will be hard pressed to find a difference, even if you're printing these out and developing. But I'd say overall in the center and in the corners, the 35mm lens is sharper at the same aperture and at the same camera settings. So that is it for this comparison. So overall, if you are looking to replace your kit lens, the 18:105 is the one to get. It is built a lot better than the kit lens. It offers a greater degree of flexibility, and you can use this anywhere. I mean, it's not the easiest thing in the world to pack with you, but it takes great pictures from 18mm all the way to 105mm. If, however, you are looking for the best low light performance if you're looking for the sharpest lens at 35 millimeters. The Sony 35 f1.8 is the lens to get, and this is my favorite prime for the Sony E-mount. I've recommended this lens to so many people over the last couple of months. It has never let me down, and it's so compact. Really am impressed with this lens. The more I use it, the more impressed I am with it. So that is it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did learn something, please be sure to like this video. Stay tuned for future videos, and as always, have a nice day. Bye-bye.